I think a year really makes a lot of difference, especially when you're awake for most of it. I think I didn't sleep a lot last year. They've got me flying everywhere and doing all kind of things. You continue to learn. In those first couple of years, I think, as an artist, you really learn a lot about who you are by which songs work and which songs don't, and the things that you say and shouldn't say, and the way audiences react to various things, and it just gets easier. And in that, you become more you, I think, in the process, and that's always a good thing. I think it comes down to building your own world out here on the road. You know, it's who you surround yourself with. I've got a lot of positive people on my bus. My band and crew are really positive guys. They love what they do just like I do, and they're good friends. I'm hanging out. I go to eat dinner with these folks when I'm home. I just hang out with their families, and so it's like never really being separated from family. And I think that's the trick with Willie Nelson too. He's out there 200 days a year, and it calls his band family, and it is. They end up being the people that you're probably the most influenced by. And with my guys and with the way that we live out there, we work out a lot and we try to eat right, although we don't really adhere to that much. But we try to basically keep it our own rhythm and our own world, and the kind of thing that is a pleasure to live in, I hope. The new album is a collection of stuff that was written kind of when I first came to Nashville. For the most part, there's a couple new things, of course, but the song Part 2, which is the title cut, is a 1995 composition, and it was written about an ex-girlfriend in an old movie, and the comparisons between the two. And when I wrote it, I remember looking at my co-writer and saying, hey, I think that'd be a great second album title, Part 2. Half joking, but here it is, 2000 and what? Well, almost 2. So, it really came true the way I hoped it would. And a lot of these songs were written right alongside things like Who Needs Pictures and We Danced, and things like that, where I knew when I wrote them that there was not going to be a place for them on the same album, but we kind of divvied the things up accordingly and went, here's a good first album, I think this is a good second album. Some of these show progress, but you don't want to do them in the beginning, or people don't really know who you are. Like a song like I Wish You'd Stay, it's really progressive for me, but at the same time it's still country and it's still heartfelt. I think it would have, on the first album, been the kind of thing to where people would have known a little less about what to expect because I gave them too much. And on this one, it shows that sort of growth, I think, and it surprises a few people. We have a whole full-string orchestral intro on it on the album. And I think that, this album is really, it's every bit a sequel, what a sequel should be. It kind of goes to a new place in a couple of different directions here and there, like the bluegrass angle. And we really, there's a couple of songs, 2 Feet of Topsoil and You'll Never Leave Harlan Alive, and even the instrumental, which are very bluegrass based. And at the same time, there's another swing type number on there, but they're all a little more out there than the first album was, and I think that's a good thing. The thing I like the best, I think, about what I do for a living is that I can basically, first of all, it's a great way to, make it beats digging a ditch or doing something that's really work. It's never work comparative to the other things that we call work in this world. But I love the fact that you look out there and there's people that their day has changed because of your, contribution to it. Things, a song or an appearance or something that some of these people really look forward to, and I don't understand it, but they really look forward to just meeting me or seeing me or going out to a concert. And thank God for that, because that's really the thing that keeps you alive out here on this road when it gets long and hard. You end up out here really looking forward to those faces in that audience when the day is boring and uneventful. And then the thing I like the least would be the traveling. And, I'm sitting here today. On Sunday, I had to fly to Burbank, California from Pennsylvania. After that, I flew from there to Dallas to Nashville for 2 hours, did something in Nashville for 2 hours, flew on a private jet to, I think, in Birmingham, and then from there they flew me here last night. So that's 2 days in the life right there, and not atypical. I mean, it's not every day that it's like that, but there are runs and little stints where you go through that kind of thing, and it's never fun to check baggage 3-4 times in a couple of days. The nice thing about the world that I've somehow been able to inhabit for the last couple of years and presently is the fact that I'm given a lot of freedom by my label and by the people that work for me and with me. Not all artists really get that, and I think it has to do with what you're comfortable with. Some artists would rather, go in there and sort of let some other things dictate the kind of record they do or the type of songs they choose. But for me, I've got such a great team. The band that you just saw played on my album. They're all on there, and there's so much talent up there. Why not use them? And so I try to do that. Song-wise, I know who I am as a songwriter, and these first 2 albums have contained a large majority of stuff that I wrote, and mostly because I had the time, growing up, and in the years preceding this record deal, I was able to sit down and kind of get a good backlog of things. This next album, as we embark on it next year, it'll be the kind of thing that will be a little more, I think I'll do some more outside things, but it'll still be primarily stuff that I write, mostly because I've got a few of those in the can that I'm ready to cut. But, I think the way that you keep from sort of succumbing to that temptation in Nashville to kind of follow the mainstream and just do your own thing, or follow the mainstream and not do your own thing, actually, right, the way to say that, is you basically have to look inside yourself and go, what means something to me? And that's what I try to do with everything I either write or record. And as long as anybody is making music for that reason, our format and I guess country music in general can't really go wrong. Anytime you do something from the heart, people they know it. They really know it. I know on nights when I'm not into it, I have people, fan club members, whatever, that'll say that. They're honest enough to tell you. And I think it's always important to really focus on the meaningful things in your life that you need to be singing about. And that's the trick for me, at least.